Hi, this is the last lab for our Visual Basic Microsoft Visual Basic course, and in this lab we are going to focus on using the arrays and little bit of handling of the files. We will not do some detailed file handling, but we will be focusing on uploading the list items from a file. So our experiment with the files will be limited within that scope. So in this particular chapter we are going to study the following topic. The chapter project is a burger food truck named Chef Shack. This requires a Windows application to compute the depreciation of its food truck, point of sale register, storage freezers, office computer, and picnic tables. So, depreciation is an accounting term. Whenever you deal with accounting of the things, when you maintain a business, you do the accounting. There are a lot of things you will need to take care of your business and also to take care of the business taxes. All other things. It's not just for taxes, but also taking care of how your business is making progress, how you are how are your assets are depreciating, what do you need to do in a timely manner, all those things. So depreciation is in general an accounting term which describes the decline in value of a physical asset over a certain period of time. Now, most of the assets lose value due to usage, right? People use some asset and it lose the value. Then there are also factors from aging, the improvement, the upgrade in the new technology. Maybe at some point those items will be obsolete, and also impairments. So what do we do when we calculate the depreciation? It is depreciation is an estimate of this declining value and is used for determination of taxes, as I said, and other financial purposes related to your business. Now, Shape Shack sells fresh grilled grass-fed beef and veggie burgers. That's the story of our chapter project. The company cannot depreciate the cost of its food, right? But it can claim the depreciated value of its physical assets, such as the point of sale register, the other food truck equipment. Each inventory item is assigned 4-character identifying code. So you can see, the inventory item in the picture. The Windows form, the application would look like this. You can see each of the items has some uh, like 4-character code, item code, and the table that lists this item and associated codes is stored in a text file. I'm going to share the text file with you as well. So basically this kept on a storage medium such as USB drive or anywhere, cloud computing drive, wherever you want, maybe on your PC where the application runs. When the Windows application for Shape Shack starts, it opens a text file and fills the select inventory item list box object with item numbers. And before calculating depreciation, the user selects an item and a depreciation method. As you see in this picture, in the screenshot, you can see there are 4 inventory items and you can see the depreciation method, the straight line, double declining balance. Don't worry too much about the methods. You will get the formulas for those methods to do the calculation. That's in the book itself. So don't worry too much about the business scenario. Let's focus on the technology. So so in this figure you can see what is going to happen is that when the user clicks the list box arrow to list box arrow to display the items in inventory. um, then what happens, after selecting an item, the user click a radio button to select either the straight line or double declining balance depreciation method. In the straight line depreciation, the asset is depreciated by the same amount each year for life of the asset. In double declining depreciation, the depreciation is accelerated. After selecting an item number and the method of depreciation, the user clicks the calculate depreciation button. Okay, so once the calculate depreciation button is clicked, you would see something like this. Let me again take a screenshot. So you would see something like this. I mean, this is different from the previous picture. So you will see the basically the product, the window form that displays the product name, the, like in this case, used food truck, the quantity in inventory, and the amount the item is worth over next 5 years. You see here present year, you can see the present value. I mean, I'm talking about the I'm talking about these these tables. I mean, this is the present year, this is the present value, this is the year per year depreciation, and the total depreciation. So you see each year, I mean, if you take straight line, each year it is depreciated by a fixed amount, 10,800, but then it grows. I mean it's a cumulative value, the value is accumulated, and you can see at the end of the present value at 54,000, but end of 5 years it is fully depreciated. So that's the concept. Okay, so then so basically we are going to do this calculation in our code. Now you can also see that, Chef Shack, that company, purchased the item, the item shown in this table. I mean, I'm going to share the table with you right now. Let me take a screenshot, and here it is. So these are the items that they bought for their business. And basically what you are going to do is to create the Windows application to do all these calculations. Okay, so without, I mean, as we did before, I mean, what I'm doing here is little bit jumping the steps. I went ahead and created the UI for you, for us. I mean, so you can see that first, I mean, I created a Windows form. Under this form I have an image. You will get this image, I mean, as a part of your lab assignment. Then I created the following components. First of all, this is this one is the list box, the list box, as you can see here, the list box, and then this is of course the label. Then here we have a group box, and under the group box you have a label. I mean, group box has a name, and then you have two radio button items. Then there is a button object which is calculate depreciation, and you can see that we selected the colors, all those things. Then below that there is a label, so it shows the item, the item name, and here is the label for the quantity. Okay, so I named this component according to their description. Then in the bottom I have labels, I mean, like present year, and then I have a list box, then present value label, and then followed by a list box. I have created year depreciation label, followed by another list box, total depreciation label, followed by a fourth list box. So that's my UI component. Now from the UI component, if you go to your code, so simply double click that, and you can see that I put some little bit of uh, information here. So I put option strict on. Open question for you: what does this option strict on mean? We already discussed, but I want you to do a refresher about this particular statement. And then we did, this is the FRM depreciation, this is the class, and then we defined some of the variables for the class. So you can see private variable, the life of items 5 years, so we are considering the 5-year depreciation term. Then you have public shared, I mean that is public shared means it is basically a public variable, so it's available globally. And shared means it is basically it is shared among different classes. So then size of the array is 7, and then there is an inventory item. So although we have 4 inventory item we are showing, but it maximum length could be 7, we can have up to 7 items. Then item ID, the decimal initial price, and the quantity of the items. Those are the variables within the class, and 2 of them are shared among different classes. Now you can see that there is this form, and there is a second form, of course. So this is basically different items, particular items. So if we go to check the application, let's see how it works. So it will bring up a form. So let's say we have this one, this inventory item, and then you can do the calculate depreciation. And for this particular form, there is another form. If you start it, then you can see basically this one, and then different, you can see the different ways of things. So here, so under the file, if you do display inventory, you should be able to see all the inventories here, so that's way it works. So return to application. So basically we have two forms. Let's focus on the application development itself before going to anywhere else. So we have the form depreciation. This is the primary class. So when we load it, as it loads means as we start up this form, then we have this information like there is a stream reader, this is for the file, and then we placed the file where the inventories are located at in a folder of my choice. So in your case, when you are going to submit your lab, you should I want to see that you use some folder of you from your device, and then I can edit it in order to test the application. But the file is like this. Let me share the file with you. So you I already shared the file with you on the assignment, but let me find it out. The data, basically for this application we have the data, so that data we are going to find. So this is the inventory file that I'm talking about. So you can see point of sale register, the item code, the value, and quantity. So basically the name of the item, the code of the item, the price of the item, and how many items are there. So these are all the things, all the information we stored in this file. So for the second item, you see the outside signage, so all these things, used food truck, so everything you can see here. So every four line there is a new information, first one, two, three, four, and then also there's a repetitive pattern. So to read that file, basically I have created this name of the file variable. There is an initialization, integer count, int field, and also the file error. I mean, if the file is not available, you should receive this error. So I put it there. Now, first of all, in order to read the file, so first thing is to populate the file menu and then you read the file. So here is how you read the file. So for reading the file, the main module or the class is called input output IO. So it is systems IO. So you do io.file.exists and then you do the file name. If the file exists, then you do object reader io.file open text. I mean, it's a text file, so you are reading the file. Now you are going to start a repetitive loop or do loop. So this is the syntax, right? Do while the peak, I mean, it's a, if the peak is not equals -1, if all objects are not consumed from this particular object reader. So basically what is happening, you have a you have an input stream. So as you read an item from the stream, the item is gone, right? And then you will reach a point when there will be no items. So the peak is basically it returns the next available character but does not consume it. So when you do peak, you don't consume the character from the buffer. So this is, so it is a stream reader object. So what you get out of a file, you get a stream reader. So you are basically loading the file content in the memory of your program. Inside the memory, your file contents are organized and basically serialized, means what comes after another. That serialization happens there. So then what happens, we start to go over those stream, right? Input stream. So basically the stream reader, go over the stream reader. So as we go over the stream reader, what it does, it it basically processes. So you see here the inventory item, and then I put an array. I mean, here is how you do the array. We will discuss about it in our classroom lecture, but this is an array. And then you can do object reader dot read line. So what is read line? Read line is a function defined under the object reader. I mean, that is the stream reader object, stream reader class. It reads a line of characters from the current stream and returns the data as a string. So that's how it is defined. It works. So it is coded under the Visual Basic framework. You don't have to worry about the code. You can simply use this function and use it in your, apply it to your code. Okay, so then you do the item ID. I mean, you read line, you are reading the line by line the file. Let me open the file once again so we know exactly what we are reading, what exactly we are reading. Okay, so if I open it again, so you see the first thing we read is the inventory item, this one. Then you also read the, I mean, so it reads the read line. Then the item ID, this is the item ID. Then so I mean, this is the item ID. ID means the code, A101. Then you read the file price, 599.99, this one for this thing. And then you do the quantity here. The quantity is, so you do the quantity, you read the quantity. So that actually completes your processing of the while loop. So what you do, the count, it starts with 0, and then the quantity becomes 0 plus I mean plus equals 1. That means you are processing one item. Okay, any question, you should email me, right? Email me, or you can join me, you can ask me any question through email. Send me an email through Canvas. I will be happy to answer those questions. So then you close, I mean always remember to close the object reader, because you have to keep you have to consume the memory available to your application in a very reasonable way. So that's why you need to close whatever stream. I mean object reader is basically a stream reader. So you need to close the stream so that you can create new streams. So then what you do, the list box, you have created the list box here. This list box, you are basically filling out that list box, and you are adding the items one by one. Okay, so and but what are you adding to the string box? Basically you are adding the inventory ID or inventory code. That's why you see this one. If you would add here stream, let's say the name, the ID, this is the ID, but you could have do the name as well. So in that case you would end up writing the names. We will show that later. But what happens if the file does not exist? Then you uh, throw some error and you close. Basically you close the window. So that's your sub. Your sub starts with the sub and then it goes to end sub. Okay, this is your form loader. Then the deprecation calculation, I mean this button, how it is calculated. So here you select an item, then the missing selection, I mean if these are the messages you will see, and then you have the deprecation method, you have the inventory item ID, and then you do a uh, logical block. If inventory ID is selected index greater than equals 0, that means you are selecting something, some item. Then you basically you find the I mean the item ID, the code, the item code. Then you do the straight line. If you whatever deprecation method you are choosing, if you choose the straight line, then you basically go to this function. Okay, so this function, let's see how this function is coded. So this function basically takes care of the straight line deprecation. Okay, it also gives you the present straight, present year, deprecation, I mean all these variables it is defining. And then you do the make objects visible. What does it do? This make object visible is a is a sub. So what it does, it basically flips the switches here. So it is making the item visible, everything is visible here. So let's go back where we were. So then here, so then you do the text label item dot text, I mean the deprecation item and this item. So then you do the message and the formula here. So you do the life of items. So you are basically deprecating the things. And then so present year value, so you do decline initial price, I mean sorry, decimal initial price is this one, initial value. And then as we move forward, the in terms of the year, what it does, it basically deprecation is adding up. And then you can see that we are adding the deprecation stuff. I mean in terms of the dollar value, the present value is here, it is not going to change, but the yearly deprecation you can see here. So year equals 1 to initial life of the life of the item, so it is declared here 5, right? So you run the loop and then you gradually deprecate the values, and ultimately you end up with the final value whatever it happens. Then if the double declining deprecation, then your formula is little complicated, but you do all these things as usual. But here when you do the deprecation, then you see that we do that deprecate year value times 2 divided by by the life of the item, so it's faster. So per year it is the rate of depreciation is twice as the initial one, so it will have less lifetime. So you can do that here. And then I mean that's all we did for this. Is used everywhere. And then then there is a menu display that we did, and for that actually we facilitated another form. So you see the form second as new form display inventory. That means we are instantiating this class, this form. So what about this form? Let's see. So in this form we are loading this form and declare the initial variables. We sorted the array. So array dot sort is a function within the array class. It sorts the elements in an entire array, and so it is sorted. And then it's a natural sorting, so probably it is sorted by the name, and then or whatever the code or name, whatever is there, is a string sorting. So a comes first, z comes last, so that way. And then you do the for loop here, and you add the items one by one. And if you return button is clicked, then you basically hide the pop-up. So that's how it works. So let us try to run this particular application. So let's see what else is there. So if you do the clear, you make everything false so that you don't nothing is visible. And then exit means your application exits, right? So then let's test it. So when we run the application, where is the testing? Okay, I think I have another application running, so I have to kill that one. So what is going on? So debug, let's okay. So we started the application. So you see this window form to be populated. Let's choose an item. So now let's see the display inventory. So we have the following inventories, and you can see that this is sorted by the natural order. What I mentioned, natural order means when you sort a string, a comes first and z comes last, right? So here you see that office o and then p r s u. So this is sorted by the natural alphabetic order. So I mean this is an array and you use array dot sort method. So there is nothing complicated in that. And I mean we are not doing any complicated thing in this application. We are simply doing the simple things. So and we can see that we have this list, and let's choose one. Then we calculate the depreciation. You can see this is deprecated in this way. If we choose this one, the straight line depreciation, you can see this is deprecated in that way. If you do this one, if you do that, you can see that this is deprecating in a gradual manner over 5 years, how it is being deprecated. So then I mean all the things you see different levels of depreciation. But then if you choose double declining balance, you come here and you can see the depreciation is even faster. Let's see the costly items. This one, the food truck. you can see that it is deprecating very fast, at a faster rate. So I mean, different items deprecates at different rates. So once you are done, you can do clear also. I mean, if you do clear, you see everything is cleared. All the bottom elements disappear because we don't choose anything, and all the selections are gone. Now you can do it over again and do the calculations, and then you can also exit means this window will be uh, disappearing. So that's it. So that's the application, right? So in your lab, what I expect you to do is that you should you should follow the book. I mean, there is a line by line description about how to code it. You can supplement this lecture with the book's instruction, so that will, if that helps you, then you should go through the line by line instruction, do the coding on your own, and then zip your file, zip your project, this one, inside. I mean, just zip it up and then deliver it, upload it on the canvas. And along with that, I expect another thing for your full credit, that is, you should start doing this, start the application. You should start the application, and once you start the application, you should be taking the screenshots. Okay, so deliver the screenshots. Okay, so if you deliver the screen, I mean these screenshots, you should take this screenshot, select one of the inventory, calculate depreciation using one method, take this screenshot, and then change your depreciation method. You recalculate depreciation, attach another screenshot. I'm not expecting you to do for all items, but pick up any two of them. I don't care what you choose, but you should do two of them. And also take a screenshot of this one, the display inventory, this form basically. Do that once. And what else? I mean, I don't think you need anything else for your screenshots. So I expect you to upload the zip file and a screenshot of your showing that your application is working on your device. So those are the two things. So if I share the what is the ask from you, so you can see for this week we have the lab 6, and under the lab 6 you see I have added the picture, so you can download the picture, and also the inventory.txt file is also attached, so you should use that for your application development. And then I put all the instructions here. So this is due until the end of the semester, that is June 5. After that it won't be available anymore. And what else you need to do, let's see. So for the lab, this is all you need to do. Okay, so as usual, send me email if you have any confusion, any questions. So that's it. Happy coding, and let's stop the conversation right now. Thank you.